Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this July 12th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're glad you're here. How are you, man?
Good morning. Second Monday.
Second Monday.
Yeah.
It feels like a Monday.
I think every day until like the middle of August is going to feel like a Monday.
Does it?
Until we get through Shrine Game.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yep.
I would imagine. Although the week of Shrine Game it goes by pretty fast. That week right before, but until then it's just stress.
Yeah, we just got done with a big project, work for Grand Ronde Hospital, and so now I'm like focused on everything that has to be done for the Shrine Game. I mean, we've got several other production projects that we're trying to accomplish too.
Wrap up.
Yeah.
We got we take the little date thing off.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Benny's throwing up bottom
lower thirds.
Yeah,
like covered up. Yeah.
So for those of you guys that don't know, like we do all the production and everything for the Shrine Game. Now this is going to be year number 2. BC handles like all the technical stuff and all the contracts and all the the equipment, and then I handle the content and
the game.
Yeah, I do the color commentary. Will McLaughlin is the play-by-play for it, and it just culminates in this like hopefully not quite so hot experience. It was awesome. That week was so awesome for me, like just getting to know the players, and that's what I love to do. I love talking to athletes about like what their plans are, what they're doing, and it's really cool. It really is.
Well, and it's cool because a lot of those guys, I mean, if they're good enough to be selected for the Shrine Game, then they're probably going to go on to play college sports someplace.
Yep. Yeah. And actually, it ends up being that a few of them came to EOU too.
Yeah.
So now, so just so you guys understand, EOU has 100 football players. So when I'm focusing on EOU football, generally it's not like the red shirts and the freshmen. It's like the upperclassmen or the people that are playing, because there's no way I can even remember 100 people's names. No way.
I don't think I realized that was that big of a program.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. You gotta. Yeah.
It's huge, and they it's funny because like some of the events, like they send the red shirts too. It's like your job, like the parade that was out here last year, with the cars and everything.
Yeah.
It was on the same day as the EOU booster golf tournament. So like all the football players that were here for that were all red shirt. I mean, that's like they're like the bottom of the totem pole. It's kind of funny. The crazy thing was last year, during a EOU won a game, and at the end of the game, one of the red shirts was celebrating and like jumped up and tore his ACL celebrating.
Oh man.
Yeah, not good. No. I don't remember his name or anything, but it was like, oh, man down over here. And it was during the celebration. It's like that takes the wind out of you a little.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I'm excited about EOU football though too.
Now, does an ACL injury, does that ruin your career, or just
there's a lot of people that tear their ACL. For Max McCullough, the basketball player, he tore his ACL at Gonzaga last year, and there was no coming. You know what I mean? That's the end of it, pretty much. I mean, he might be able to come back and play like semi-pro basketball in the next year or so, but that ended his EOU career. For sure. I mean, he was already in his 5th year because of COVID. Cool thing is, though, Max broke the EOU scoring record in 4.
Right.
So nobody can ever say that record is because of COVID, because, I mean, he actually played less games because of COVID that year and still broke the scoring record.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, cool stuff. What do you want to do, sports?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Give a little love to Sergeant First Class Laurie McNeil, the recruiting and retention officer no, she wouldn't be an officer if she's a sergeant first class. She's enlisted. So she's the recruiting and retention person for Army National Guard in this area. If you have any questions about, joining the National Guard, give her a call, 541-786-1459. Her email's down there at the bottom of the screen as well. Sports-wise, there's nothing really going on this weekend. So I still haven't gotten a text back from Parker, the coach of the LeGrand Legends, the Legion team. I was like, dude, I need a schedule. It's normal. I mean, that's kind of normal in this world of mine. But I do know that they have a home tournament this weekend. I just don't know when the game times are. As soon as I find out, if I find out, I'll get it posted for people to see. But the 18U LeGrand Legends have a home tournament this weekend, which they're pretty good. They're fun to watch. Well, I mean, they're state champs in high school, and it's pretty much the same team, minus a few seniors that are working, but it's pretty fun to watch. They're good ball players. And then we were supposed to have a guest today.
Right.
I'm not even going to try to say his last name because I have no idea, and I'm going to butcher it, but his name's Chris. And he's the LeGrand Parks and Recreation coordinator. And he ended up having somebody call out sick and having to cover. So we were going to talk a little bit about the Moonlight Tournament for him, and that's August 5th through 7th. They're still looking for some teams. So if you're interested, get a hold of Jeff Hamilton. The number's down there on the bottom of the screen, or call LeGrand Parks and Recreation, or go to the website there, legrandparks.org. Moonlight Tournament's cool. We've talked about it a couple times on here. It's back. It's been gone for a few years, and it's back now. So that's kind of cool. And then one more thing. So our community lost a pretty important person this last weekend, and it ties into the sports in the simple fact that he gave a lot to this community when it came to sports. He was a member of the 81 EOU baseball team that was just inducted to the Hall of Fame up at EOU. And I just want to put condolences and prayers out for Susie, Brandon, and Sean. John Cedarholm passed away this last weekend. And he's going to be missed a lot in this community.
Yep.
Very much so. Yep.
Well,
moving on.
And back to the Moonlight thing.
Yeah.
So like if this is a co-ed tournament. There's a group of people that just want to put together a team, I mean, is that the procedure?
No.
I mean,
they
just put together and apply.
Yep.
Or
pay the money and
like show up.
Yeah, and it's a party.
Yeah. And I mean,
if it's like any Moonlights that I've ever been to.
And I'm sorry, it's a stupid question, but these are like full teams. I mean, you gotta have okay. There's no shortened version of baseball.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Actually, it's more people on the field than a baseball game or a softball game.
Why's that?
Yeah, because in slow pitch you have a rover in the outfield.
That's right.
So you have 4 outfielders. So it's actually 10 people.
So it does. I mean, that would be a little bit of a challenge, getting 10 people together
that can actually play a little bit and not hurt themselves.
Yeah.
But man, the games in the middle of the night are so fun to watch. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna go.
Right. That's
you know
right.
why I'm not going?
In the middle of Shrine.
Yeah, it competes with Shrine. Well, it doesn't really compete.
Yeah, you could go. You could show up on Sunday morning.
No, obviously, no. I'm gonna need to sleep for about a week after that.
Yeah, it always wipes us out.
I was wiped.
Yeah.
I remember coming home. I had to go to my parents' house on Sunday. What was it? Probably like, did we come home Saturday night? No, we came home Sunday. Right? I think,
right.
Yeah, we came home Sundays. We had that meeting.
Yeah, that's right.
That meeting.
Yeah, you were at that meeting. That's right.
God.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Tanya not showing up. We're not doing. You got to do this meeting
by myself. Oh wow! It was kind of entertaining. Actually.
Yeah.
But anyways, I got home, and then I went to my parents. I forgot all about that meeting. Oh my gosh! Went home, went to my parents. Went back to the house and slept like all the way till the next day. Yeah. Man, that meeting.
It was one of those meetings, folks, where it's like you look back on it. We're not going to tell you what the meeting was, but it was an organizational meeting, a kind of a debrief for the shrine and stuff. But it's like, very little of it had to do with the actual game, which is why we were there.
Yeah.
And
that's all we cared about.
And so then it was like 2 hours of your life that you feel like you cannot get back. And
it's not like they were like feeding you like good food or you know what I mean? Like there was
and we were clear at the back of the room, so there was no easy way of slipping out.
No.
Yeah.
You couldn't even fake going to the bathroom and get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun though.
Yeah, it was
interesting. We'll send Benny to that meeting. Benny, I got a job for you.
Oh.
Take notes.
Yeah, we know better this year. But so what do you think of the picket fence look, guys? We've been working on this for a while and just trying to figure out a way of doing something other than black. And we've got some ideas. We'll continue to work on that and change it, but hope you like it. I'd love to hear your comments.
I think it looks great. I like it.
Yeah. Well, it's
I like the green.
Like I said, it's a variety, and we can change the colors because of the colored lights. And it's what it is. It was funny because the way that came about was I was at Miller's and was looking for stuff, and I found these slats, and they're really tongue and groove slats if you want to do paneling on a ceiling or a wall or something like that, And I looked at it and was like, maybe we could do something with that. Yeah, and you can't see it, but on the other side it's kind of a wood colored look that you'll see from time to time. And
you can flip them around.
Yeah. You haven't seen the other side. The other side is it's a dark woody look. It's it's kind of nice. And so, anyhow, then I bought the slats, bought the boards, and it's taken us about 3 months to get them painted and get them stained and get them. Yeah, it's been quite a process. So, but anyhow, so
weather time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So let's take a look at there now. It's going to be warm today.
You can totally tell it's going to be warm just by looking at the mountain.
Yep.
It's got that that hazy, it's going to be hot today.
Yeah. Let's take a listen.
Heading into the day on Tuesday, a hot one is expected, topping out into the upper 90s to lower 100s for much of us, although slightly colder up towards Meacham into the lower 90s. We will see scattered clouds moving south to north during the day on Tuesday, which could produce a possibility for a thunderstorm or two out towards the northern Blue Mountains the second half of the day, although it is not necessarily likely. Heading into Tuesday into the Grand Ronde Valley, I cannot rule it out. Late afternoon and into the evening. Otherwise, we're going to be warming up just shy of 100, but I don't think we will get there. We will be topping out into the upper 90s. Southeasterly winds in the morning. We'll change to the northeasterly by the evening, gusting up to 25 miles per hour in spots. Heading into my short-term forecast for the Grand Ronde Valley, tracking a high of about 97 for Tuesday, drop into the lower 60s overnight. Heading into Wednesday, we are completely dry, but we are colder, dropping those temperatures into the upper 80s.
All right, there you go.
It's going to be a warm one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a warm one.
I went to the hospital picnic thing, or the from the ground up, this last weekend.
Is it replace the gala? Is it the gala?
Well,
or are they going to have
this was a replacement for the gala, but they're probably adding that to the. I mean, they're going to go back to the gala. They for sure were going to be going back to having the gala next year, but it sounds like they're probably going to still do this picnic fair style thing also. So it's an event they're adding to it. So
nice.
Yeah. So, but it was kind of fun. Tanya and I did the axe throwing thing. That was.
Did you?
Yeah. It's more complicated than what you would think. Yeah.
I don't think I would be safe with it. I asked Benny about it, and he said that he had fun.
Yeah. They had to. It's funny because to do the axe throwing thing, you had to have closed-toed shoes. Yeah. And so then everybody who was wearing, I happen to have, these sandals that are mostly closed-toed, then that got by. But like Tanya had flip-flops on, and so then you had to put a pair of socks on and then wear a pair of shoes that they just had there. Like, what are those rubber shoes that people... Crocs. Yeah.
They had some Crocs in the
They
building.
had some Crocs there.
Like Crocs are going to protect your feet from an axe.
I know. I don't know if it was, a liability thing or whatever.
Here, put some rubber on your foot. That'll probably stop the axe. Like, you'll probably be fine. Don't worry.
They had a traditional looking axe, and then they had this metal axe like thing, but it was sharp on both edges. So the regular axe, was only has sharp on one edge.
Yeah.
And then they had kind of like a pickaxe thing that was a little smaller, and it would stick. I mean, if you got even close to the right rotation, it would stick, And then they had the stars, the ninja stars.
I got ninja stars at home.
And of course they would stick every time. And
I love ninja stars.
Yeah. So
I'm from that era where, like, us kids, like, if you had ninja stars, you were a badass.
Yeah, so that was fun, and it was a good event. Our video came off well, and Benny and I had been working day and night for several days and was pretty pleased with it.
The video was good. I watched it. It was really good. It was very good.
Well, it was it's always fun, and Benny had never experienced that, and I had never. It's been a long time. It's always fun when you work on a video project, and the first time that it's released to an audience, and so then you can see how they respond to it, and then if they laugh in the right parts, and when it got toward the end of the video, the part that was really emotive and we wanted people to be in it, it got real quiet. It was just, it was really, really rewarding because it worked. It did exactly what it was that we wanted it to do. So
it's awesome.
Yeah. So that was fun. It was a fun process. This weekend is Crazy Days. So
that's downtown here?
Downtown here, yeah. Which I need your help on Saturday a little bit if that works out for you. We can talk about that. But
you're going to tell me that live.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid I'll forget. So yeah, everybody else is gone. So anyhow, that'll be cool. So all of the Timber Cruisers Car Club has a car show that is coordinated with Crazy Days, and so then at 10 o'clock downtown LeGrand. I think last year they had 130 cars or so. And so it's people really show up. The car people really show up for that. It's a great event. They park downtown. This is Goss Motors. They're celebrating their 100th anniversary. Yeah. And so then they normally have a band or a guy who plays. And normally they're at the intersection of Fur and Adams, which is right there by the movie theater. Mm-hmm. And now this year, since it's their 100th anniversary, that band is going to be just down the street, a half a block in front of Goss Motors. So anyhow, it's a cool event. If you have kids, it's really cool because there'll be vendors and food that stretch the entire distance of Adams. Of course, on Saturday morning will be the farmers market will be at Mac Square. And so there's just a lot of activity. Normally about 11 o'clock, they bring the fire truck down to one of the intersections and they turn the water on and it cascades down and kids can run through the sprinkler or through the water and stuff. And it's just great. It's so wonderful, typical downtown LeGrand stuff. Yeah.
Bud says, that's like saying you're working Saturday. Yeah, and then I'm getting my kids Sunday.
Oh, are you? Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're going to be here for so they'll be here for that week, and then my son's going to stay for probably 2 more weeks after that. I think football, if I remember right. He's going to be here for Shrine Game.
Oh, cool.
Which will be cool. He'll hang out with my parents.
Yeah, or we can put him to work
and watch. He's got a teammate that's on that team.
Oh, he does. Oh, cool.
Yeah, he could work too.
Yeah,
he very much could work.
Good. We need some muscle. It's kind of an all hands on deck thing. And with my gimpy knee, there's a lot of times where it's like, hey,
make him work. Hopefully it's hot so we sweat him out. I saw this thing on Facebook today. What would be the first thing you would buy if you won the lottery? First thing you would buy?
Oh, probably a new car.
Because the lottery is like 414 million right now. It's like
the first thing I'd do is pay off my debt. But yeah.
I don't know what I'll do.
Buy a decent car, decent vehicle.
I'd buy a boat and just leave for like
14 million.
No, 414 million.
Yeah, it's just that's a crazy amount of money.
First thing I'd buy was a salute to say Asta. I'm going in the ocean for like a while.
We'd have to find a new sports guy.
No, I'll just do it remotely. From like somewhere
I can just see you on the beach.
Bay.
Hey guys, not really sure what's going on this weekend. You might want to check around. Let me know, and I'll put it on the air.
One thing that I would love to do, like in my life, which would be awesome. So there's quite a few people that do it now, but like be a creator, a YouTube creator, and just fish in the ocean and spear fish and just oh my gosh. There's this guy Brody Moss. He's an Australian dude. He's YBS Youngbloods is his channel, and like the guy, I mean, he's always got just babes with him. He's cooking and he's got a cool dog. He's got all the cool toys.
I think I've seen a clip or something.
And he's got drones and he takes these immaculate videos. He's just good at what he does. And it just presents so cool. Like, I mean, he's swimming with like a hammerhead. It's like, and he's by himself. He's got him and his dog out on a jet ski in the ocean off the Great Barrier Reef, swimming with a hammerhead. It's like,
it would be so fun to have a really narrow scope. You know what I mean? So in other words, because for us, there's a lot of variety in what it is that we do. Yeah. You know, but if you were a YouTuber and you kind of found the niche, and then all you got to do is you just got to keep doing the same thing.
Grind on that same. He gets paid a lot of money. He was an electrician, right? He gets paid a lot of money from advertisers, his clothing line, just to do what he loves to do. Yeah. And he just straps a GoPro on. Yeah. Or, sets up a couple cameras and then goes out and hangs out on the beach and cooks. Like, he'll catch a fish and cook it right there. Yeah. Awesome.
That's cool stuff. What most people don't know is that the actual filming is pretty straightforward. It's the post-production. It's the editing that is like, it's a lot of work.
I mean, filming, you do that with this.
Well, and that's why doing a live show like this is relatively easy compared to doing a full-blown production, because when it's done, it's done, Right. And
there's no post-production at all.
Yeah.
Unless you're cutting it and using it for something else. But even then, it's like, it's not a huge. I'm trying to find another question for you.
Yeah. Well, what was the answer? So that was just a question for me?
First thing I buy,
is a boat. Yeah, okay.
Well, no, the first thing I would buy is
yeah, but that doesn't cost you.
I'm working remotely for the next 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, here's a good one for you, BC.
Okay.
Would you rather get a paper cut between your fingers or bite your tongue every time you eat something? So every time you touch a piece of paper, you get a paper cut between your fingers. Or every time you eat something, you bite
probably
your tongue.
The paper cut.
Ooh, no way. Your tongue heals way faster.
Well, I know, but if every time you picked up a piece of paper, I mean, you could survive without paper. You can't survive without eating. You're going to have to eat something.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you'd still have to, I mean, paper is paper. Right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, toilet paper probably counts, but it wouldn't really cut you. Would you rather eat a small can of dog food or 6 overripe bananas?
Oh, the overripe bananas.
I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
Overripe. Bananas make my mouth itch anyway, so I think I'd, Like itchy.
Like regular bananas, not, okay.
Yeah, just anything with banana in it makes my mouth itch.
Really? I wonder if can you
There's
be
some kind of
can you be like a little allergic to banana? I
Probably.
mean, is that possible?
Yeah, a lot of people are.
Really?
Yeah. But I think I'd go for the dog food just because I cannot stand my mouth itching. It's terrible. I would rather have anything else.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that is so. I've never heard of someone of their mouth itching.
Yeah, I think it's pretty normal. I don't think. All right, would you rather brush your teeth with hot sauce or ranch dressing?
Ranch dressing.
Oh, what about mayonnaise? Mayonnaise or hot sauce?
Well, I like mayonnaise.
But
But what's funny is that I like mayonnaise on sandwiches or whatever the case. I mean, a lot of mayonnaise. I like a lot of mayonnaise. But for me to just take I mean, if there's a big gob of mayonnaise on the end of a spoon or something afterwards, it's like, yeah, that's not appetizing.
No, it's gross. Yeah. What's a food that you would like never eat?
If I never ate onions, or excuse me, liver again.
Liver.
Yeah, I would. I mean, as a kid, I had liver and onions, and it was
not great, but I would much rather eat that than a tomato.
I'm not a big tomato person.
So gross.
Yeah.
So gross.
Yeah.
Let's ask Bud one. You can answer this too. Would you rather always get stuck in traffic or always have a really slow internet connection?
Probably the internet connection.
They would both suck.
Oh man.
Slow internet is the worst.
You know what's funny is just how our lives have so evolved to expect these kinds of things,
Right.
I mean, it's just like, I mean, you hardly ever get dropped phone calls now, but 10 or 15 years ago in the early days of cell, yeah, you'd drop calls all the time,
You'd get that.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with the internet speed. If it doesn't show up right away, it's like, what's wrong?
Yeah. TJ says, good morning, TJ. Bud says, internet. But here's the thing. Like, even my age of people, I mean, I grew up without the internet. I didn't have internet in my house until my senior year in high school.
Yeah.
And back then, like we've talked about, it took me like 3 days to make a mixtape to give to a girl.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not like it was, like, and if the phone rang,
there it goes. Yeah, you had to start loading.
And not to mention, there was probably 57 viruses coming through there too. Like now it'd slow the computer down even more. Mom's like, "What's wrong with the computer?" It's like, Mom, I downloaded 84 songs off of Napster in the last 4 months.
Yeah, that's about how long it would take to download 84 songs.
Hey, but I had I had all the music. Like I'd tell my parents, I'm like, I'm downloading right now. Tell no, let's not make any phone calls. Let's just let this happen. Yeah.
Oh.
That was crazy. Like, to think of that. Like, when I was a kid, I would take the tape cover. I had this one tape.
Uh-huh.
It was the very first tape that I ever got, and it was Chubby Checker and it was the Fat Boys.
Uh-huh.
But it had the song "The Twist" that was remade with Chubby Checker.
Okay.
And so the other side, I didn't care about. So I'd cover the holes and record off the radio the songs that I liked on the other side. So this new technology of being able to just send these songs to the computer and I can put them on a CD.
Yeah.
Unheard of.
Yeah. Do you ever go back on Spotify? Are you a Spotify person?
I have premium. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you go back and get all of listen to those old songs that you?
Of course. I was listening to the Isley Brothers this morning.
Yeah.
In here.
Yeah. So that is so interesting. And one of the things that drives me crazy about modern music, about the means that the music is delivered now, is you don't really hear the album. Well, I mean, there aren't albums anymore as much because people they're just releasing singles all the time. And so, but I mean, I'm sure when you were a kid too, you'd listen to a whole album, and the artist put those songs in an order for a particular reason. It's a little bit like a mini 10-song concert. I mean, they had the intro songs and
and there was interludes.
Yeah, and the biggest song was always the 9th track or the 10th track, or whatever the case might be. And so anyhow, so I really miss, I mean, if it's an album that I used to remember and it's not played in order, that bugs me. I mean, so it's like, I love finding those old albums and I want to listen to it in order.
Most kids nowadays can't sit there and listen to a song, and when that song comes to an end, know exactly what song's supposed to be next.
Right.
Like
they don't want to know that.
But no.
Or they don't know that.
They don't know that.
Yeah,
no.
right.
I would imagine
they're just.
not.
I mean, I think that they're just consuming music because I like the. I mean, it's like they're putting together their own mixtape every time. It's
Spotify does that for
all of their own special songs.
If I pull up my Spotify, I have this playlist called New Music Friday. And every Friday, all the new music that comes out, the singles get put into that playlist.
Really?
So on Fridays, I just click on that and listen to the new songs that have come out and like the ones that I want to put into my playlist. And
see, I have one. Spotify puts together for me a daily mix.
Yeah, everybody has that.
Yeah. And so and it just grabs songs from what it is that it knows that I listen to.
Chicago, I'm sure there's
Chicago, some of them, but there's some country artists and there's some. They're pretty good because, I mean, I've listened to a lot of Christian music, and they'll have a day of Christian music, and then they'll have a day of, I mean, they're not. The genres mixing wouldn't really work for me, and thankfully they kind of know that, And
see, it does for me.
Does it mix all of the genres together?
Well, I have a Spotify has a playlist called Daily Mix for me, and it's, I mean, just because my music is all over them, that. I mean, I play country, so it just depends on the mood I'm in and like what I want to hear that day.
Yeah.
But I'll play heavy metal one day. I'll play Isley Brothers one day. I'll play rap one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have that daily mix, but it's just a mix of and I like it like that. Like I like
the variety.
Yeah. My mom used to call me the human jukebox because I can remember the words to it. I can't remember yesterday sometimes.
Yeah.
But I can remember the words to a lot of songs, DC.
It's kind of funny. I've been listening to more pop music through my granddaughter, Briar, Kelsey's oldest. I guess she's going into the 2nd grade. And so then
like Taylor Swift and
so then it's like the Justin Bieber, If I Was Your Boyfriend. And I mean,
Justin Bieber, as he's gotten older, he's gotten really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he really has.
He's kind of found a niche a little bit.
I think I told you this before. I have a video of my youngest daughter when she was like 2.
Yeah.
And Justin Bieber's playing in the Suburban, and my son's poking fun at her because that's what he did. He was 4.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, Justin Bieber. And so I looked back at Pacey and I said, who wants to date Justin Bieber? And she goes, I do. And then she goes, I looked at her and she goes, I want to date Justin Bieber. And this is when he was like younger. You know
right.
It's the cutest video ever.
That's funny.
It's on Facebook. I've shared it a few
But
times.
it's kind of like Justin Timberlake. I mean, he's a tremendous musician, but he didn't really, I don't know, for me, he didn't really come onto the radar until he had matured a little bit.
Yeah. He was also a Disney kid.
Right.
So
yeah.
Bieber wasn't. Bieber was found by Usher.
Oh,
He's
really?
a Canadian dude. Yeah. Usher signed him and put him on as he was never on like any Disney shows or any of that stuff. So those Disney kids, they're all like the same. You know what I mean? They all
but Timberlake was
the same
in
way.
98 Degrees.
No, NSYNC.
NSYNC, yeah.
NSYNC, but he was on Disney too.
Right, yeah.
When he was young. And he was in a boy band. He was way better once he got away from that.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah. He did a Saturday Night Live skit. I mean, he's done several Saturday Night.
Yeah, let's not talk about the one.
But the one I was thinking about where there's 2 characters and they're outside of a pizza joint. They're like, anyhow, and they're dressed up as the mascot. It's kind of a mascot music battle, and but very funny.
He did one Saturday Night Live skit that's highly inappropriate. like, yeah, and people still like do it for a Halloween costume. But it's funny. But it's not bud friendly.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, should we get out of here?
Yeah, we can. I mean, there's not really much. We blabbered for a little while.
Yeah. Be sure and check out Crazy Days this weekend, or prepare for that, and we'll be talking more about it on Thursday too. So.
On this day, July 12th, 1785, the first manned flight of a gas balloon in the Netherlands. 1785, they flew in a gas balloon in the air. Like 1785, like how's that even possible?
Yeah. Well, what I think is, like, who would risk their life? I mean, that's, there's got to be, it's not too different than a dude filling up a whole bunch of balloons and getting into a lawn chair. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like, who's
not doing it?
Yeah. If it fails, you die.
I've said this before.
Yeah.
I would swim with great white sharks without a cage before I would go up in the air in something like that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would probably die from a damn heart attack flying. Like, I'd much rather swim with sharks. Yeah.
Wow.
I think you got a better chance.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, if you see those hot air balloons, I know nowadays they're very, like, technologically advanced, and they have all these safety nets or whatever. Not actual nets.
Right.
But still, like, you just think about it. One bad thing. What if a duck flies into it, or a bird?
Right.
I mean, do you wear a parachute in those?
In those hot air balloons?
Yeah.
I suppose so.
I would hope so.
But even sometimes when there's like a failure, you're high enough off the ground to die, but not high enough off the ground for a parachute.
Yeah. So you're screwed. Is what it would be. My best friend, he's a flight nurse. Like, he does a life. It's not actually life flight, but it's the same thing over in Minnesota. He was with the pilot, and they had somebody on. There's not a lot of room in there in a helicopter when you have 3 people in there and all the medical equipment. And a duck came through the fuselage.
Oh, my.
And he sent me pictures. The pilot was just covered in. The only reason why they knew it was a duck, because they found the beak. But there's a hole in the fuselage about this big.
Oh, my goodness.
He sent me pictures. It came right up through the bottom of the fuselage. And they ended up having to land it. And they had to use an ambulance to take the person the rest of the way.
And this is a plane or a helicopter?
Helicopter.
Wow.
Yeah, helicopter. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, I would never fly. Like, what happens if a helicopter malfunctions? You can't, there's no eject button. You just have to jump out.
But surprisingly, they have a thing called auto rotation. And so essentially they release the motor from the blades, and the blades spin. They do a movement. It causes the blades become a wing. So it is very similar to landing a winged aircraft. I mean, you can survive these emergency landings with helicopters. Mm-hmm. It's not like it stops spinning and they just fall out of the air.
Bud says big guys don't fall any faster. Okay, but that's fine. But we have a lot more surface that hits the ground. We have a lot more surface that hits the ground. So speed has nothing to do with it. If a little skinny guy's got a lot less body.
It's mass.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see? Yeah, he said, not really, you hit hard. Yeah, I'm not trying to hit nothing coming out of the air. No way. On this day, in 1804, former United States Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, dies after being shot in a pistol duel with the previous day with Vice President Aaron Burr.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I know.
That's how they
1804.
handled stuff back then. Like, could you imagine, like,
Yeah.
if that's how it was today? Still,
But
like,
I've seen, I've seen reenactments of that or whatever it was, and it was pretty outrageous even in 1804. It was like, what? You're going to settle this as a duel? I mean,
yeah. Could you imagine if it was like that today? There'd be a lot less people running their mouths and doing stupid stuff. I guarantee you that. Really? Oh, pistol duel.
Yeah, it's like, what's the where's the emoji for throwing gloves at someone's face?
Right. 1862, on this day, U.S. Congress authorized the Medal of Honor. 1957, on this day, was the first time a president ever flew in a helicopter. Who was it? 1957.
President in a helicopter.
Yep.
I want to say Eisenhower.
It was Eisenhower.
Okay.
Dwight Eisenhower. Yep. 1962, the Rolling Stones performed for the first time at the Marquee Club in London. 1962. So how many is that? That's 38, 48, 58, 60.
Rolling Stones, yeah.
Wait, they've been performing for 60 years.
Yeah.
60 years.
No, I know. Yeah, that was it. That was a year after I was born.
60
That's craziness.
Years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Cheney did. Bud said Cheney shot somebody. That was on a hunting trip.
It was a shotgun.
Yeah,
right?
they were hunting birds or something.
Yeah, and it was he got sprayed. It was a congressman. So
man,
yeah. Would still be picking buckshot out of your face or your back or whatever. It was something like that. Yeah.
2017, on this day, the world's largest iceberg, later called A68, broke away from the Larsen ice shelf in Antarctica. The iceberg was 6,000 square kilometers. Wow. That's a big iceberg.
Yeah. I wonder where it's at now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully not headed this way. All right. Let's see. The #1 movie in America on this day in 1992. A League of Their Own.
Oh, wow.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Really good movie. It's a true story. Well, I mean, it's loosely based on a true story.
Right.
Pretty cool. And then the quote for the day comes from Arthur Ashe. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
Cool.
Sit on a Tuesday or second Monday, whatever you want to call it. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Eastern Oregon. We'll see you soon.
See you Thursday.